This is EMDSD14R, and this is New Trains, Part 41. And in Part 41, I'm going to be showing you some more new trains that I recently purchased. I know I haven't posted one up since the last one, which was about the heavy iron Lionel set that I got. This is on the HO rolling stock that I got. Now, this will include engines that I've already had in other videos in operation, but I didn't show them in detail. And then I also have some other engines that I've been working on and some secret surprises that you probably are seeing in this video right now. But let me start with some of the other equipment. As you guys are familiar with, I purchased two Marklin RC1 electrics, the X995, and then this Swedish RC1, which is the number 1010. This one was the DC version, this one was the AC, and you guys saw the video of how I took the DC components out of this one and put them into the X995, and how I took the X995 components and put it into this one. So this one, which was DC, is now AC. The X995, which is AC, is now DC. So those two engines I got. Oh, and then when my friend Rini from the Netherlands came to visit me, we went up to Strasbourg and I bought this Western Pacific boxcar. And then you're probably wondering about these, what appear to be SD24s. As you guys are probably familiar with, I have my own personal railroad, the Eddystone Richardson and Western Railroad. You guys are probably familiar with this engine, which is the 240. That's the class unit of the SD24Rs. Now, basically, a quick rundown on the SD24Rs is they're basically upgraded versions of the SD24. They have 645 power assemblies and components, new generator and alternator, and other features that have been upgraded. Along with the electricals, they have -2 electricals in the units and other upgraded features. But externally, they still look like a standard SD24. That's for some of the class. Now let me explain to you about the other class members. So the number 913 here is also going to be an SD24R, but it's going to retain its Santa Fe paint scheme. So the only thing that I'm changing on this unit is the number. So this engine will be number 241. So where this, it was actually unnumbered anyway, but the original owner numbered it to 913. So where this number is here, this will all be patched out black. The number 241 will be put here, ER&W here, and then WLW, or Wells Locomotive Works, will be put on the battery box here. And then the number boards will also get the 241 on it as well. The back ones are pretty much black, and those are fine the way they are. And pretty much this one will be identical to the 240 as opposed to roof details and such. But let me show you the next two units. Now this one here is going to be number 242. Now this SD24R, as you can see, has been extensively modified. If you look at the 241 here, or soon to be 241, you notice that the SD24s have the round bulge here. That's for the turbo. But the 242 has an angled blower, angled turbo housing. Now I custom made this, by the way. I custom made that for this unit. I actually bought an SD24 that was Southern, and I already had the Atlas shell of a chop nose SD24, and I basically just swapped shells. So what parts did I use in this? I used, believe these are Details Associates early version pile headlights for the nose and for the rear. I used Details Associates Jeep 39 air filter hatch, I think that's what it's called. This is a Canon Company Jeep 60 or SD60 exhaust hatch. This is a GE style bell. This is a P5 horn. I forget who made those, but those are the features that I added. The air tanks are also from Detail. I think they're Detail Associates as well. The fans come from an Athearn ready-to-roll Jeep 60B. The rear two fans, and then the fans here are, I think, are either Canon Company or Detail's Associates fans. And you can see there's two different types. Or yeah, there's this version and then there's this version. The let me see if I can clear this up. Oop. The air piping was custom made by me. The lift rings were salvaged from the Southern high hood shell. I wasn't able to use all of them, but that's okay. Along with the sand filler hatches, and then the marker lights. So yeah, that's the 242. That one is pretty much the most extensive rebuild of the SD24s you're going to see as of yet. And it actually kind of, in a way, if you think about it, it kind of looks like almost an SD26, except the air tanks are longer on the roof here, and there's only 2 and not 4. So it's very similar in appearance to what an SD26 looks like. Very similar, but different. Not only that, but it also has a 710 engine in it. It also has a 710 prime mover in it. So it's different than the other SD24Rs, but it's still considered an SD24R, but it has a 710 engine in it. And then this one here is the 243. It has a, oh, I'm sorry, this is a M5 horn. I'm sorry, this horn on the 242 is an M5 horn. This is a P5 horn. The 243 really doesn't have that many modifications done to it. It still externally resembles an SD24. You notice the nose headlights and then the rear ones. Now they're probably noticing the dash 2 blower duct. That's Canon Company. That's from an SD50. So that's pretty much the difference between the 243 and the 242, and even the 241 is the housing here. So this is for the turbo. This actually has the complete blower duct housing from an SD50 or even an SD60. That was from Canon Company. So that's the only feature that I did in addition on this unit. Everything else I pretty much left stock. Nothing else is going to be done to this unit. It's pretty much done. So of the SD24Rs that I pretty much rebuilt, 242 is the most extensive one. And that was a bit of a challenge because of the work I had to put into it. Oh, excuse me, y'all. So yeah, as I was saying, 242 is the most extensive rebuild of all the SD24Rs. And I could even make a story up as to say this was a Southern high hood unit, and it was heavily damaged in a wreck, and it was sent back to EMD using all these different components. I mean, you got the rear 2 fans, like I said, are from the Jeep 60. There's a Q fans, and you got SD40 style fans here, and you got a Jeep 60 or SD50 or SD60 exhaust hatch, and you got, I mean, pretty extensive rebuild. So yeah, that's for a little history on those 3 units there. Those will be painted into ER&W colors, so you guys will be seeing them when my buddy Radisson actually gets them. He'll be doing the work with them. I got to order the decals for them because I have decals designed for all these units. I got to do the ones for these, for this engine. It's just simple, just the numbers, that's about it. But I have a drawing of this engine on my computer. I just need to do that. And then, last but not least, are these 2 gems. Now you're probably wondering what they are, and I'm going to explain that to you in good detail. So the box cab electric that you're looking at here is from Japan, and it's for the Japanese National Railways. I don't think it was called that early on. I'm pretty sure it wasn't called that. Yeah, well, yeah, JNR, Japanese National Railways. It's a export GE box cab electric, and the designation is ED14. Now, I first saw these online about maybe, I want to say, 2 years ago or so, maybe longer than that. These retail about 36,000 yen, which translates to about 320 US dollars. Now, I found a person online via eBay that actually sells them for half that price. So I could have had an earlier version of this called the ED11, but I didn't buy it, which I kind of regret, because if I'd bought it, I would have had two of them. But anyway, I waited around a while and this popped up, and I purchased it, and I would have to say I'm really impressed with the model overall. And as far as I know, this particular company, which I'll show you right now, this particular company, and they're headquartered in, let me flip it around, headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. As far as I know, they're the only company that makes HO scale box cab electrics of the GE type, as far as I know. Now, there are some pros and cons to this model. I'm going to go into the pros first. So, pros: the body is exceptionally well detailed. You have the traction motor vents. You have the windows. Roof detail is good. You have nice headlights. By the way, this is a kit, by the way. This is an actual powered kit, so you can actually change the headlights on here to whatever you want that's supplied in the kit. Grab irons and railings are supplied with the kit. The model is, I would say, heavy, but it could use a little bit more weight. I believe the model is DCC ready, but I haven't been able to take the shell off because I don't want to get into doing that yet. So those are the pros. The plastic on the body and everything's pretty good. I'm going to change the couplers to KDs, obviously. Now the cons. Pantographs. They are plastic. They are not metal. So I'm going to have to change those anyway. Now, when I saw the picture of the model, I knew this pantograph was warped. Not really happy with that, but I said, you know what? I'm probably not going to see another one for sale in like months. And I say I'd rather pay half of what they're usually going for than pay a full $300 and something for it. And it's brand new, so I picked it up. But I'm going to put I think they're called Schnummerfelt diamond pantographs on this model. But I'm actually going to have to increase the roof, the height of the pantograph, or I'm going to have to get the pantographs that Bachmann Spectrum sells for the E33, which would actually give me the correct height. I just have to figure out how to place them on the roof here, because there's going to be slight overhang if I use those pantographs on this particular model. Another drawback is the plastic for the side frames is durable, but they could have done a little bit better, I think. Another thing that I found out with this model is one of the drive gears on one of the axles was completely split in half and was virtually useless. So, which wheel is it? So it's this one right here. So instead of it having 4-wheel drive or 8-wheel drive, it only has 6-wheel drive, which does pose a problem when it's pulling. I was looking online to see if there was a part number that I could get a new wheel for it or a new gear for it, but I will say that the gears that they use are not the very best plastic. I think this company started, it's still a fairly new company, I think, and I think they still have to make more adjustments with this model. It's a great model, but I think they just need to improve on that. The good thing is about the drive system, if I wanted to replace it with a new, like Northwest Shortline Stanton Power drives, I can do that if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. And the model does feature LED lights, and I will show you that in a second. But overall, I like the model, considering that it's the, as far as I know, the only HO scale plastic GE style box cab available, as far as I know. If I'm wrong, I apologize for that. It's pretty good. They also come in different colors. This is the dark brown version. They also come in red, and they come in blue. So the red version is for one railroad, and the blue version is for another railroad. They also have a brown version that has yellow chevrons on the front, which is really cool. But let me go ahead and take these other engines off so you guys can see the lights on it. Oh, and one other con with this. The model should be able to negotiate my tight turns here, but where they tapered off the frame to clear the height of the wheels, I don't think they actually took enough off, because there's a rubbing sound when it goes around the curves on the layout. And a model this size shouldn't be doing that, but it's not really that bad, but it's still noticeable, and you guys will see that in a second. But other than that, if you can get your hands on one, do it, because they're making a limited number of these. The brown ones of these are on back order. Some of the other ones are already sold out. I'm going to see if I can snatch up at least 2 more of these, because these are going to be for another railroad that I'm doing, and they're going to have at least 4 of these box cabs, if not 3. So no more than 4, no fewer than 3 of these, because they are expensive, really expensive. And I believe it's due to the fact that they're not making that many of them. So yeah, let me get into that, and I'll show you guys how it runs. And it has directional lighting too. Yeah, but hear that rubbing sound? That's what I was talking about. Those are the wheels rubbing against the frame. But yeah, overall, I'm very pleased with this electric. I'm really pleased. I really am. Oh, by the way, when I actually first saw one of these online, I think it was about 3 or 5 months ago, my original idea was to buy one of them or 2 of them and replicate one of the, or both of the Canadian National box cab electrics that were used for up until the early 90s, I believe. I have a tape on them. You guys from Canada, if you know what I'm talking about, Canadian National on their electrified division, on their commuter line, one of their commuter lines, I should say, they ran box cab electrics from, I think, English Electric, and I think they were from GE, Baldwin, Westinghouse too. So this is a close representation of the GE type. So I was going to paint it in the CN colors, or paint the other one in the CN colors, and then you know, use that for like a what if stand-in. But I'm not going to paint. I think I might just leave this one brown and just decal it for the railroad that I am doing. But in the future, I probably might get 2 more and paint them in the Canadian National anyway. Just an idea. But yeah, that's that model. And then now let's go to this model. I'm not too familiar with this model. I believe it's a Baldwin. I'm not sure. I think it's a Baldwin Westinghouse 49-ton box cab electric. I've seen at least 3 or 4 of these for sale online over the past 3 or 4 months. This is the first one I've been able to pick up. It's brand new, never been used. The story behind it is the son-in-law inherited it from his father-in-law when his father-in-law passed away, and his father-in-law never used it. Now his father-in-law inherited it from his father, I believe, So the two previous owners, or I should say the three previous owners that had it, they never actually used it. So it's brand spanking new. It does come with a trolley pole. This is a kit that you could get from the UK, and I will admit it's greatly detailed, but the problem is the drive system, which is, what's it called? Tenshadow? I don't think I'm pronouncing the name right. The drive on here can't pull this thing, or can't move it. It just spins and spins and spins. Not only that, but they didn't, whoever made the kit or put the kit together, they didn't cut enough brass down on the side for the mounting of the bolsters here, or the side frames, to make this completely even. So that the back end here, this is higher than this end here. So what I'm going to have done, and if it's possible, I'm going to have a new frame made using the original frame as a starting point, and just power this with 2 Northwest Shortline Stanton power drives, and be done with it. That's what my plan is anyway. But this box cab, so this box cab here and this one are for another railroad that I'm doing. So altogether there should be about 5 or 6 of these box cab electrics. So that's what my future plans are for those anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to share those trains with you guys, and I'll have some more updates. I do have another installment of O scale trains. Well, actually it's O scale and HO scale that I got from another church member, thank God. And I'm pretty sure one of the sets, if not 2 of the sets that they gave me, which are both made in the USA, one is pre-war, one is a wind-up train, have to be worth an obscene amount of money, and they're in like new condition. So I will probably be showing those in the next installment, which will be part 42, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this installment. God bless, and see you later. Peace. Oh, and one last thing. If you're able to get your hands on one of these, do it. Do it. They may be a little dainty with some details, but overall, I would say it's worth getting this model. It's worth it.